This is Fearless Beauties, a podcast dedicated to developing voices of color in the beauty industry. We are talking to estheticians, skin specialists, and business owners to uncover best skin practices, tactical career tips, and ultimately, how we can create a better beauty industry together. I'm your host, Taylor Phillip.
And I'm your other co-host, Alina Velez. Welcome to the latest episode of the Fearless Beauties podcast.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 10 of the Fearless Beauties podcast. My name is Taylor, also known as Taylor Budgets.
And I'm Alina, your certified advanced esthetician.
So in today's episode, the big 1-0, we are discussing Gen Z beauty trends and how this generation is driving forward new beauty trends and changing the way brands approach the beauty industry. So let's get into it.
Yes. I just want to open by saying, Gen Z, I'm proud of you. They're really out here, advocating. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Really calling brands out and forcing them to change. So before I did research for this podcast, I had no idea what Gen Z was. I knew.
Me either. How old are Gen Z anyway?
Right. Am I Gen Z? I don't know. So I did see that Gen Z are those born between 1997 and 2012. So I'm definitely not that.
Yeah. What year were you born in?
94.
Me too.
Yeah.
We're millennials.
Yes.
We're millennials.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're considered millennials. And then I know there's, Gen X?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I guess they're before us.
Yep.
So our parents. Maybe.
I think so. I think that's right.
But it's nice to know the year, the range, because it kind of brought things into perspective for me. Because being born in 1994, I saw when the first iPhone came out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is when things started getting crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Technology.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that was in 11th grade. Wow. So that was 2011. So just imagine 2010, 2011. So just imagine Gen Zs being born and they have just technology
right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
And then sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we do have it really cool because we got to see a little bit of the before social medias, before having a mini computer in our pocket, aka our cell phone, to really watching it from the flip phone to the Sidekick to the iPhone. Yep. So, yeah.
And the Gen Zs, they got a little bit of that, but they would have been elementary school. So they shouldn't have had a phone anyway. But now elementary kids have phones.
Yeah. But people are saying, and by people I mean research companies are saying that Gen Zs are able to make their opinions heard so much more loudly than previous generations. That's so interesting to me.
Yes, it was interesting to me as well.
I think every generation I'd like to think every generation has done their part to pave the way for future generations. Mm-hmm. And so I'd like to think that this has been in the making. Us as millennials, at least, I feel tried our part to push the needle forward and pave the way. But yeah, shout out Gen Z.
So for me, I was trying to figure out why this was such a topic, because being a millennial and seeing actually the kind of the origin of technology with Apple, I was I feel like we kind of saw it all come to be. But then I thought about it. Technology didn't really start hitting until, I don't know, for me, 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. With Twitter. I feel like Twitter was big. Instagram, Facebook.
MySpace.
Right? Oh my gosh.
First and foremost.
I was in middle school. But I also think thanks to TikTok has just been absolutely mind-blowing and just
Yeah.
multinational
Mm-hmm.
impacts. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, but I just think that we're able to see more now. Like, people
Absolutely.
are so transparent online, and I think that Gen Zs have a lot to do with that because it was kind of around their time. That's who's
Mm-hmm.
doing it. Like, you don't see a lot of, it's so hard to say, honestly.
They're influencing everybody.
Okay, yes, that's the word.
Yeah, right? That's
Gen
what you're
Zs
trying to
are
say? Yeah.
yes, they are influencing millennials and Gen X's to be their authentic selves on social media. Because you don't just see Gen Zs on social media. You see millennials and Gen X's. Like, you see my mama's age people just dancing their hearts out on TikTok. And I'm like, okay.
With hella views too.
Right.
Famous. TikTok famous.
So I
Yeah.
say we can thank Gen Zs for that because they most likely push the needle towards just having a multi-generational thing on
Yeah.
social media. Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think too, thinking about how they were brought up heavily in social medias and thinking of filters, right? Everything's filtered. But Gen Zs are actually, they have a higher level of self-acceptance. And so people want to show their skin and freckles and textures, and they're okay with not, filtering it.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful. I love that.
And it did say that Gen Z is the most ethnically and racially diverse generation to date. So inclusion and diversity are essential to who they are. So they've really been
Yes.
bringing that out. It forces brands to create products for skin
Mm-hmm.
and have that product represent all colors, all tones, even
Mm-hmm.
down to sexual orientation, body size, disability, gender. Gen
Yeah.
Zs are saying basically everyone's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should express themselves the way they want. And we need to see that brands accept that. And they're kind of like pushing it. Like, brands are now looking at Twitter and TikTok and saying, okay, what are Gen Z saying about us? Because,
Mm-hmm.
you'll create a YouTube video about a brand's product and that will ruin that brand if the views get high enough. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have an influencer, a Gen Z influencer saying, hey, I tried the new Tarte concealer and it sucks, people are not
Mm-hmm.
going to buy it.
Yep.
And
It'll
so,
make or break them.
right. So now brands are
Mm-hmm.
going to these influencers' pages and saying, okay, what do they want?
Mm-hmm.
Let's give
Yeah.
them what they want because they are our consumers. They are influencing other generations to
Mm-hmm.
buy from us. So it would be dumb of us to not.
Pay attention to what they're saying.
Right.
So shifting gears a little bit, the way people are shopping is different, and skincare is becoming more important than makeup products.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about this new trend because it's not
Yes.
new to me.
Exactly.
I love the no
To me
makeup
either.
makeup.
And they call it
Yes.
what? Skinimalism?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
Yep.
basically, you could have on a full face of makeup, but can it look like you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we talked
Yep.
about that in last episode where those toxic beauty trends, how they were
Uh-huh.
putting on like 10 pounds of foundation. Like,
Yeah.
remember that?
Yes.
So we're doing the opposite. It's like less is
Mm-hmm.
more. We're doing
Yes.
like the whole Alicia Keys vibe, but with makeup,
Yes.
you know?
Love Alicia. Yes.
So it's beautiful to see because even
Yeah.
for me, I have a lot of dark spots and I'm not sure if Gen Zs have influenced it, but I wear less makeup. I'm okay
Mm-hmm.
with going out in public now and people seeing my dark spots when I used to not be.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
always wear makeup even if I was going to the store. Now I'm like, I don't freaking care.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because I see so many influencers just having like their glowy skincare routine and hopping out the door
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
owning it.
Yeah. So true.
So I love that.
Gen Z is also like hybrid products. So like more value for your money. So not only is it say a concealer, but it's a,
Mm-hmm.
has some serum in it. Maybe it's a vitamin C or something, some type of added ingredient that
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend that or think that it's like super efficient in
Mm-hmm.
just being a topical product. But I mean, that's cool. We love a versatile product.
So when I thought of hybrid products, I also thought of how makeup artists or influencers, they will use concealer, for example, as foundation, or they will
Mm,
use bronzer as eyeshadow.
mm-hmm,
And I was like, that's dope because they only have to buy one product
mm-hmm.
and that's it. And then you can show how this one product has so many purposes, and that will force others to want to try it, buy it.
Yes.
So yeah, you saw it. You
Yes.
saw it for like the skincare purpose, and I saw it like makeup. So I thought that was
Mm,
interesting.
yeah. I also was reading, and I love this. So they're saying that Gen Zs are more experimental. So it has to do with more of embracing different facets of their personality and their different moods and feelings. So, in correlation to like what their makeup routine might look like. One day they might wear bold colors and bold
Mm-hmm.
liners, and then the next day they might be, a skinimalism day.
Mm-hmm.
Just really expressive of their personality and who and how they're feeling in that moment.
Yes, definitely. So it did say that Gen Zs see beauty as self-expression and authenticity. So the way they use makeup is all about expressing how they feel in one current moment. So like you were mentioning, they may want to have like a bold color on one day and next they're wearing nudes or the whole skinimalism thing. Like I was seeing pictures where you'll see like I wouldn't even picture us doing this, but you'll see them wearing like a royal blue shirt, but they have on a bold mustard yellow eyeliner.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't even think to do that. But it's a form of self expression. That's how they feel that
Mm-hmm.
day. And
Mm-hmm.
that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that. But that's definitely a Gen Z thing because I'm thinking about millennials like us. Like even back in high school when I saw like the goths,
Mm-hmm.
like they still stuck to the black.
Yeah, the everyday heavy liner.
Right. It was the same
Yeah.
SHIT different
Mm-hmm.
day. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
it. And that's just what we stuck to. But Gen Zs, they just they just do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
I love
okay.
it. To piggyback off of that, I think as millennials, at least for me, I always watched my mom get ready in the morning and do her
Mm-hmm.
makeup for work, and so I think that
She looked
first
the
of
same
all,
every day.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. First of all, there wasn't all these beauty brands back in the day. There was Maybelline and
Shoot, Mary Kay,
CoverGirl, Mary Kay. Yeah, I mean
Mac.
there was not as many, right? And so anyway, yes, I watched my mother do the same routine every single day, and I never got bored watching
Nope.
it.
My mom taught me how to do my makeup the same way she did her makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yep.
probably the same way I do it now. I just throw in some blush now. My mom was very much foundation, eyeliner, mascara. Lip liner was a huge thing. I see it coming back now, but lip liner was a huge deal back then. And lipstick, and that's pretty much it. There was no bronzer, no concealer, no highlighter, no eyeshadow, at least, for my mom. So, but it did say that, which I thought was so interesting. After you said that the Gen Zs, they embrace the different facets of their personality, it also mentioned that they're steering away from the hyper polished, airbrushed, and flawless advertising towards images because it doesn't show imperfections. It just shows just perfection, quote unquote. And they said 62% of Gen Z say brands over edit their photos and 70% say that they would like the content from brands to not be perfect. And I love
Yes,
that. Like, I
please.
would not even
Mm-hmm.
expect that. But
Mm-hmm.
I just think that with these social media apps these days and people coming out and addressing what is wrong with brands,
Mm-hmm.
it's like we don't want to see airbrushed. Like I was
Yeah.
thinking about the uh the professional photos I got
Mm-hmm.
done and I received them back and I love them. But
Yeah.
the airbrush, OMG. But hey, I like it. I was like, good. I don't want, but you
Yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
saying we want the opposite. We want to see the, like, the cuts on your arm and stuff like that. I'm like, like, I airbrush me, please. Like, I still look the same, just airbrush me.
Yeah.
But they don't want to see that. And it's because we've talked about this so many times, especially about body image. Like, we want to see the cellulite and we want to see the dents and
The wrinkles
we
and
want to
the
see it all because
yeah.
we don't look like Victoria's Secret models, boo.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Victoria's Secret models don't even look like Victoria's Secret
No,
models.
no, they do not. So
Yeah.
they're basically calling brands out for not giving the realness. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's like brands are saying basically, okay, if we want these people to purchase from us, we got to give them what they want. Like Gen Zs, they have a huge impact. And I keep saying this, but it's social media. Like we didn't have social media like that back in the days where
Mm-hmm.
social media could like literally ruin a whole brand.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would have to
Yeah.
email them.
Yep. So true.
Now people just making 1 minute videos and that's it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
I
what it
just love
is.
how they are embracing their imperfections and just, you know, whatever they're feeling like, they're going to dress like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So one
everybody could take
brand
something from that. Go ahead. Sorry.
So one brand that is doing its thing is L'Oreal. And I was reading an article and they were saying that consumer centricity is at the heart of everything they do. And that means that they're listening to their consumers. They're not listening to the internal team. They're saying, okay, team, let's go out and find what our consumers love and let's do that. So they were saying that they're finding new ways to understand their consumers and they do extensive social listening to understand consumer sentiment about their brand as well as the market overall.
Interesting.
So what drives consumers to purchase their products? So
Yeah.
it's about addressing the beauty dreams, which I thought was cool, instead of the beauty needs.
Ooh.
So what do our consumers want out of using our products? Do they want to look not like themselves or do they want to just look, like they want to look themselves, but just like a
Polished.
right, great word,
Yeah. Yeah.
polished. Like they don't want to look fake, like,
Yeah.
catfished. We don't want to catfish people out here.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
I like that. That's like when a guy gets a haircut and their whole demeanor changes. I feel like it was just a haircut, their whole face didn't change. So it's kind of like makeup. Like we don't want our whole face to look different. We just want to,
Yeah. Yeah.
calm down the oil on our T-zone or, I don't know, brighten up our eyes or cover up the under eye circles because we didn't sleep much last night. Something like that. But we
We've
still
been
look the
working
same.
hard.
Right. Where we go and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, we look good. Like I laugh so hard when I see those videos of dudes like before and after their haircut. I just be cracking up.
From a 4 to a 10 real quick.
Real quick, just by a simple $20-$30 haircut. So I thought that was funny. But anyway, that's basically what L'Oreal's tests have shown, that that their consumers want beauty dreams instead of beauty needs. So I thought that
Yes.
was really, really nice.
Yeah, they got that dialed in.
Mm-hmm. And also, the pandemic has shaped a lot of how Gen Zs want to come across physically, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
They were saying that, of course, we were wearing masks for a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So foundation wasn't being purchased.
Right.
So now,
Yeah.
I thought this was so funny because it said after the pandemic. I'm like, child, we still in a pandemic, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, we
Gosh.
still here.
Yeah.
It's just that, being reported as much. So people think it's gone. But anyway,
Yeah.
Gen Zs are no longer looking for flawlessness. They want to look real. So we just addressed that. They want healthy looking skin and products that were helping their skin. So we don't want a full face of makeup that's going to cause more acne so we have more to cover up.
Right.
We want the skincare products as well so that we eventually don't have to wear makeup. Like that's where I'm getting. I wear less makeup now because I want to rely on my skincare to clear my skin completely so I no longer have to wear makeup because I hate wearing makeup.
Yes. Yes. I love that for you.
Yeah. I know, child. The makeup is it's just too much because I touch my face so much, which I know I need to stop. But then I like touch my face and I'm like, oh snap, I have makeup on. And then I touch something else and that gets dirty. And I'm like, no, see, this is ridiculous. Or like when my daughter, or when my daughter decides to touch my face and I'm like, oh baby, I have makeup on. And then she like touches something that's white and I'm like, oh here we go.
Oh no.
Because she touched my face. I'm like, see, this is why I don't need to be wearing makeup. I want my face to look, when I go outside in the sun and it's just like, bam.
Get you a nice tinted SPF. That's
I
the way to
probably
go.
need that.
Yeah.
I hope that they have my shade.
I'll have my people call your people.
Okay, thank you. That's what we do around here. Thank you very much. Because, child, my dark complexion.
We got you
to find it.
We got you covered.
So
That's
anything else?
That's all I got.
That is? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I think we pretty much touched on all the points, Alina. Just basically, Gen Z is focused more on skinimalism. I think that's the word of the podcast. Like, we don't mind wearing makeup, but we want it to look like our skin. And we also don't need this concrete attitude of beauty.
Right. There's no longer a single definition of beauty.
Absolutely.
There never really was, but
never was. So let's thank Gen Zs for utilizing the technology to shut brands up and like basically like tell them what to do because that's what they're doing. They're like, this is what they want. Let's give it to them. So so let's clap it up for the Gen Zs. So happy for you all. So happy for y'all. I feel like we were throwing shade at the beginning of the podcast. We were like, so I mean, millennials did something though. It's not all Gen Zs.
My bad.
It was funny though. It was funny. All right, y'all. So that's the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can find us at Fearless Beauties on Instagram, fearlessbeauties.org. You can find me at Taylor Budgets on Instagram.
And you can find me at True Skin Lab on Instagram also.